Hello everyone, welcome to another round of Chitter Chatter. Today we are going to chit chat with author Amrita Nayak, the author of Squeezing Lemons. This is her second book, and let me tell you a little about this book. Well, where do I start from? I had a super duper gush of positivity after I read this book. Yes, this book talks about when life gives you lemons, you make your own lemonade. And today I am sitting with my lemonade. It's got very less lemon because I'm not much of a lemonade fan, but after this all I want to do was make lots of lemons out of lemonades that I have. And Amrita is here and I'm gonna send her a request because I can't wait to get started. Oh, when I finished this book, I was like, oh my god, how can somebody write a fictional novel which is actually touched all the possible? Hi,
Hi Shweta, how are you this evening?
I'm very good and I'm all the more filled with happiness. So,
Shweta, your voice is breaking. Give me a second. Let me fix this.
so, in the meantime, all the people out here, I hope you're the plan for coffee and it's go on. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, but in bits and pieces, it's still breaking. There's a kind of thunder coming here. I'm currently in Pune, as you know, but we'll make it, and we've got sign language for our rescue. So let's try. I'll understand you. We've talked before, so we have a vibe.
Tell our viewers who have what everything out.
Okay, I got the first part, what the book is about. I mean, the connection is really patchy, but we'll make do, right? It's been, yeah. Probably this is a divine fortitude, or what can I say? Some divine intervention that we're having to talk in sign language, and we're talking about our book. I kept a copy for everybody's reference, Squeezing Lemons. So, yeah, so, okay, now the voice is completely gone. Lemons, okay. So, wow, this is tougher. I mean, I have written a book about, a person who is deaf and mute from the very childhood, and I have, tried to capture his trials and tribulations through the book, the pains of life that he goes through, how his sister, who is not deaf and mute, who can hear very well, talk, but still how the siblings go through so many difficulties in their life because of the brother's disability. And I mean, like I said, it's divine intervention. Today, I have to, the connection is patchy. I can't hear you. But I have to read your lips and, do the interview. But we'll see how far we go. But I could hear the first part and I could make out from your lips. Tell the viewers a little about the book, right?
Right.
So, so this is my second book. I started writing this book a long time ago. This is a book about yes, things are gonna happen. That's Murphy's law.
That's the best thing, when two people meet, a lot of things happen. So be it calls coming in, be it network going, it's all good. We are all yours. So please go ahead and tell us
Yeah.
all about your book.
Yeah, so as a person, I mean, I've always felt moved when I see young children, poor children, probably some of them orphans on the streets or elsewhere, going through this difficult journey called life. I mean, you and I, we're privileged. We have had probably, I mean, I have had a middle class, childhood, a middle class upbringing, and there were times, I mean, we've all faced difficulties in life, but nothing as compared to what these people or what these young kids have to go through. So that was what inspired me. And of course, it's a work of fiction. So a lot of it was, a story, a tale that I tried to weave through the different characters. Of course, the plot revolves around the poverty and the disability like I said, the brother, he cannot, and they're 6 and 9 years old when the story begins, but by the time the story ends, they are adults and they've carved a niche for themselves. So that is, I wanted to give an idea of positivity. So life constantly keeps throwing lemons at them, right? But they turn their disability into a weapon. For example, I mean, spoiler alert, but the brother goes on to, become a restaurateur, and he opens this unique restaurant. The sister, who becomes very good at, sign language because she has to constantly help her brother out. The sign language is like a first language, because signs were the first thing that she learned. In fact, probably for all of us, when we are kids, we talk with signs when we're just learning the languages. So she learns that language, and later on in life, she goes on to become a comedian, a stand-up comedian. And she's the only one in the country who does her acts by saying or speaking, as well as, using the sign language through her hands. And she's the only, so even the deaf people actually, the deaf people can also enjoy her performances. That's such a noble thought and such a noble cause. And that is how, they turn their disabilities, their difficulties into their weapons, and then they go on to, they go on their roller coaster journey of life. And then there are other characters who support them. There's Kimya and there's Robbie, but our viewers, our readers will get to know more about them as they go on reading the novel.
So I have to tell the viewers out here, when she sent me Squeezed Lemons, I was like, okay, another book is come, I'm going to read. And I knew it is somewhere around positivity. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Finally! So when
Wow.
I was reading the book, I have to say, in spite of so many things that are a part of the book, like hunger, losing their loved ones, and since you've given some spoiler alerts, I can talk about them now. That they had their own hardships, coming from one town, settling somewhere else. But at no point the characters are somewhere where they ask for sympathy from the reader. The activity that they have is like, I really am speechless, because there was so much positivity in your book that if I long I've heard the proverb that when lemons make lemonade, you have literally done a thesis on it, which makes you smile and makes you feel your problems in life are so small that, if they do it, you definitely can. So I would say hats off to write a novel like this and keep it. All the viewers here, trust me, if you're looking for a positive ride, this is the book, and I am not being biased. When you read it, you're going to DM me and you're going to tell me that how much you've enjoyed this book. So do buy your copies, do go online, and also DM us and let us know how you like the book, because we definitely want to know that when you read, what is it that you really liked. And I would like to say a lot of things that I really like, but I'm not going to give spoilers like her. I want you about your journey. That's why I even refrain from talking much about the plot in the book, because for me all of it was something new. Like every time I read, it was like, oh my god, why did this happen? And it was like a movie that was going on. There was time, I'm like, yeah, finally this has happened. And I wanted a whistle and I wanted to clap for them, as if I was a part of their journey. So as a reader, I was totally happy reading the book. And I need to ask you questions, and I really want to know, from where did this thought develop, where you going to be a character who is going to be deaf and mute, and how did
The basic inspiration came really from the street children and children you see on signals begging for money. And I mean, you look at them, you sympathize with them, but then there's also the thought. I mean, it kind of breaks you somewhere, and there's a lingering thought, as in, what will be the story behind this kid? I mean, does this kid have parents? Have the parents left them like that? Or are they orphans? Or why they are here? I mean, why not they in schools? And they are poor, right? But they don't look like they're from here. So where are they from? So actually those children, when they come begging for alms, we give them, but that is it. Or if probably we'll help them with some food or snacks, etc. But what really is the story? Nobody, wants to beg. It is the circumstances, and looking at those children, it always used to fill my heart with so much pain, and would bring tears to my eyes a lot of times. And it was from there that I got the inspiration, really wanted to write about them, also wanted to do some justice. So that is why I did some research also. I based my characters in Kolkata. I have lived in Kolkata, but just for 2 years, and that was when I was one. I mean, when I was born there, and for the first 2 years of my life, I was born in Jamshedpur technically, but at that time my father was posted in Calcutta. So my first 2 years of my life I spent in Kolkata, but that's nothing, because I haven't really experienced firsthand. When you're two, you hardly understand anything. But Kolkata, I mean, as a place, it has always. I think the city calls me the city of joy. Whenever I see Kolkata on TV, there's some old world charm about that city that really wants me to go there. And your Brad have talked about the Durga Puja celebrations, even the place where they say the Chinatown, where the Durga Puja Prasad is completely different. I won't give too much about it, but I wanted to also capture the essence of the city in the story, and the people of Calcutta. So I have Kolkata, sorry. So I've tried that, and then of course Mumbai. I live in Pune. I've lived in Pune for a very long time. I'm from Delhi basically, but I have had lots of friends from Mumbai. And I personally have a very soft spot for Mumbai girls, because I think they are lovely. And really, sorry about you. I mean, yes, but I mean, so I'm an IT professional. I've lived with a lot of roommates prior to my marriage, and all the girls, the ones that were from Mumbai, I mean, I really gelled very well with them, and they told me a lot about Mumbai. And I think that the city is wonderful. So boisterous, vivacious. I wanted to capture some part of Mumbai also in my story. And then, there's some part about London. I've worked in London, lived in London. So I wanted to capture, some memories of that place too. I'm very fond of that city. So, I've captured different places. And I read somewhere that a good story or a good book is one that takes you to places. You're reading a book, you're sitting in a corner of your house and you're reading a book, but the book is making you travel different places. And at the end of it, you feel like you've gone through a journey. So I wanted to, capture something like that to my story. I hope I succeeded to some extent. So different places, inspirations from whole, a gambit of places, yeah.
You definitely have succeeded in all that you wanted to, because I have read the book, so I can totally vouch for that. But before I got my next question, let's have a selfie with the book. So where is your copy? Time for a selfie moment. Hi, please. That's a selfie moment with our copies. Author. Part of the chatter is going to be an IPT, so you can watch entire first novel. So who gave you that write the second?
A lot of people, my husband for one, my kids. I mean, my first novel came like a decade ago. It was called Polka Dots, Ponytails, and Purple Cows. I have kept a copy just in case somebody wants to have a look. But so that came out a decade ago. And, that talked about, like I told you, I live in Pune. I've lived in Pune for 17, 18 years now. So that was a story of, three girls who were IT professionals living in Pune and, going on with their lives, all very chiclet, if I may use that word. So, and that went on to become a big hit with the youth. My publisher even said it was a bestseller, and I was quite happy with the success that it got. And after that, I mean, I had kids. Like I said, I moved to London. There were different things happening in my life. I'd started the book, but I could never, come down to finish it. But in life you have, that support system. There are 2 or 3 people who will always keep on pushing you, and I have those people in my life. My husband, for one, he has got his different ways of pushing me. Sometimes, he would pull my leg that you were just a one-time wonder. But, it's his way of pushing. And I mean, we have been friends for a long time, so we keep on pulling each other's leg all the time. But then my kids, and, one day so I have 2 kids, a boy and a girl. One day my little girl asked me, Mom, did you not finish the book because of me, because you had to take care of me? And I felt so bad. I mean, I would have said that in a fit of anger sometime, I don't know. But when she said that and she was feeling guilty for that, it made me realize that, I'm what kind of an inspiration or what kind of an upbringing I'm giving to my children. They should not learn to be quitters. And my kids know how much I love writing. It's really the love of my life. So yes, my kids and my mom. I keep on talking to my mom on phone, and we'll talk about everything under the sun. And at the end, her sentence would be, "Book kitni ho gayi?" Book kitni ho gayi? and I used to feel so ashamed saying, Mom, I'm still, not able to find enough time to sit in quiet and peace and finish it. And I would somehow try to, take the conversation elsewhere. But the last sentence would be, instead of take care, it should be like, book kitni ho gayi? So her book kitni ho gayi, kept on torturing me. And I decided to sit, because, the first book, it was easier to write. It was a light read. But this one, I had to feel the emotions. A child's mom is dead. I had to capture that emotion. And I mean, a friend of mine, she said when she went through that passage, she had tears in her eyes. I mean, so it is difficult. You have to be in that zone to write like that and to feel the emotions and put them on paper. And that is why it took me a lot of time. But the constant, insistence from my family members and my mom used to push me a lot. And that's why I think I was able to finally finish it. Of course, there's a nagging voice in your head which keeps on telling you why you're quitting, why aren't you going, for your dream, and why aren't you writing the book. So I finally finished it, and it was a great feeling, to finish it.
So congratulating you. Poonam says congratulations.
Thank
Vivek,
you.
congratulations. Rauja says congratulations. Vishal says congratulations. And a lot of hearts are flowing your way. And also there are some people you're saying that it's a very interesting thing that, how everyone around you motivated you to write. So, lot of comments. How
All right. Now this question I didn't hear. Sorry.
How long did it
Didn't
take
take.
for you to write it once you sat onto it?
Actually, to be very honest, I started the book long time back, like 8 to 9 years back, and then I just stopped. I couldn't bring myself to complete it. I don't know why. I think 60 to 70% of the book was completed, but after that, I mean, I got so involved with, like I said, I'm a working mom. I don't know. I can write a whole book on working moms and their problems. Probably you can too. But I mean, that's a different thing. But not giving excuses. But I really couldn't find the quiet, the peace, and that kind of undisturbed time to finish the book. So it really took me 8 years. But once I finished it, no regrets. The first one, it took 6 months or 8 months, I think, the first one. But this one, it really took a lot of time. But I mean, I hope that you guys get this message from it, that it's really not difficult. Don't just give up. Okay, it's been long. I started something and I can really not finish it. No, if you put your heart and soul into it, I mean, really want to give that message, because I've been through the pain of seeing something unfinished and feeling guilty about it. but that is why I want to give a message to all of you, uh, don't be quitters. If you really have set your heart onto something, you can really go on and finish it. So never say die. That's one thing. And second, like I said, have those people around you, people who push you. Uh, Keep on talking to those people and have those people in your lives. And these are the people who will motivate you and help you, reach your goals. So I really wanted to share that with all of you
So when
from
you
straight from the heart. Yeah.
can write a next book on working moms, Poonam Jalan, author herself here, is saying coming up next is the working mom. So I think you've already got ideas to work on your next book. Your next book should be something about the working moms.
Oh, yes. It's been one hell of a joyride. I call my kids angels. I call them monsters sometimes too. All in pure love. They're apple of my eyes. But really, there are times when, you're angry. There are times when you feel so blessed. There are times when you feel so, torn apart. Now, the return to office has started. I've already started going to the office, and this was like after 18 months. And only I can understand last week how I felt when I had to leave my little ones at home and, go to office after a hiatus of 18 months. That's a long break. So, yes, and we keep on judging ourselves constantly. All the working moms would, I think, identify with that. So, so much to write about, about the office culture and the difficulties, the good parts of it, everything. Never say die is the mantra. So that's what I go by, and never say never. So yeah, if you really try hard, you can balance it. And even if you can't balance it, then at the end of the day, just take a lemonade and relax. It's okay.
Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah.
So, literary success to you.
Sorry, what is success?
Literary success to you.
Sorry, success to me. What does success mean to me?
Success to you.
Okay. Success is really, it's very, very subjective, right? For me, if my novel becomes a bestseller, that's really not what success means for me. In this case, by the way, like I told you, it took so many years to finish this. Only finishing the book was it was such a feeling of success and fulfillment. So for me, success is really more about fulfillment. You can feel, I've been talking about working moms, but you can feel successful as a homemaker, when when you see your children succeed, that makes you feel so satisfied in what you've been doing. You do well in office, you get some recognition, or sometimes you do not get a recognition, which happens a lot. But the joy of a work being well done, you feel successful about that. So really, it's quite subjective. Sometimes when you're expecting things, but things don't turn your way, they don't turn out the way you thought they would, it's still okay. At least you did your best, and that is what success means to me. I should feel happy and sincere. My conscience should be, I should not let it down. So that, my conscience, that little nagging voice in my head that keeps me telling, do the right thing, blah blah blah. So really being fulfilled in the heart, being joyful of the thing that you did well, that's all that success is. You truly can't become, a billionaire and still, if you're still not happy, if you're still not content, then what success really is, right? So being happy, being fulfilled.
What is the best compliments that you received on your book?
Yeah, I keep on hearing from a lot of people that they were really touched by the story. And, an author feels really special, honored, humble when people say these words, that the story touched them. So, when these simple words, it really touched me, and I was moved to tears, and people say that, I feel happy that I was able to stir up some emotions, and that really made me feel special. Very recently, a person, after reading my book, told me that she wanted to learn sign language and help out the society in some way possible. You know who I mean. And yes, you. I mean, if I can, make people realize, something as noble as that. I mean, I'm successful. I'm happy if I'm able to, move people to realize different things in their lives. I mean, one person, a person, she's a very good friend of mine. This book talks about adoption also, and how it. I mean, it is kind of a taboo. It's still in many parts of our, many pockets of our society, most of it. And this person said, I was really thinking of adopting a child, but I was not very sure about it. But after reading your book, now I've started thinking about it, and my husband and I have started talking about it, and we want to do it. I mean, that was music to my ears. I'm really, So if I'm able to break some taboos through my book, what more could I ask for? So yeah, I don't want to be in top 10 or top 20 or top 100. It's okay even, if I get very, very small royalty. But, if my, even if, it's not the quantity of sales that would matter, it would be the quality, how much people identify with the stories, how much they like it. And if they feel moved by the story, I mean, if I'm able to somehow win over their hearts, and if they feel that they have spent those hours meaningfully, I think my years of hard work will be really. I mean, I'll be really satisfied. They'll be worth it. My years of hard work. Yeah.
So thank you for your time for this chitter chatter. But before we exit, we are going to play a quick round of some fun questions where I will
Okay.
ask some things and the first thing that comes to your mind. So the book you're currently,
Okay. Sorry,
the book you're currently,
I couldn't hear you.
can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, yes.
The book you're currently reading.
Oh, I'm currently reading Club You to Death by Anuja Chauhan. I mean, she is one chicklet author. I mean, after my first book, some people compared me to her. So from that time, I became an Anuja Chauhan fan. I love the Zoya factor. So the current book that I'm reading is Club You to Death. It's a murder mystery. Yeah.
The book you read last.
The book I read last, I had my experiments with truth, and I had read it as a kid, and I had it in my bookshelf for a long time. I had read it, but I couldn't really remember much of it. So I reread it actually, and I mean, Gandhi. I revere Mahatma Gandhi. I respect him deeply. I teach my children about truth and non-violence all the time because I believe in Gandhian philosophies. So I just reread it because I really wanted to understand him more in depth. Yeah.
Next read.
Next read, it's going to be a non-fiction. I'm going to read, Plato, or I don't know, maybe a book on philosophy is going to be my next read. Yeah, The Republic by Plato. Yeah.
If your title was not Squeezing Lemons, what would it be?
Ah, I tried with a few ideas. I thought maybe Lemonade Lives or something. But yeah, Lemonade Life was one theme and title that I had thought of. So yeah, Lemonade Lives.
What is your favorite time of reading?
Late at night when the world is quiet. Oh wow, that rhymed. Late at night when it's peaceful. Yeah, when everybody's asleep and I don't know, you. Sorry, the rhyming stopped. But here you are, late at night in this peace and quiet. I'm happy. Give me a book and probably a cup of coffee or my green tea, and I'll happily spend the night reading. Babe.
Your favorite snack while reading?
So I'm actually more of a tea, coffee, green tea person. So I'm mostly drinking. But a good snack would be popcorn. Easy, easy to, absent-mindedly put in your mouth, and you can go on enjoying the book, and you really don't have to. I sometimes have biscuits, and I have the habit of dipping the biscuit in the tea and then eating, but then the biscuit, the dipped part would drop in the tea, and that's a lot of hassle. So thank you, I'm good with popcorns.
How lengthy is a book? Like, when you say, oh my God, this book is lengthy, what was a lengthy book for you?
I know Shantaram was lengthy. A Suitable Boy was lengthy. Yeah, so these are the two that I can think of.
As a bookworm, what is peer pressure for you when it comes to a bookworm peer pressure?
Bookworm peer pressure. I don't, get into this peer pressure thing a lot because, it is so difficult to compete, Shweta. But I keep on challenging myself a lot. And answering your question in the challenge that I feel, that kind of a way. So Netflix puts a lot of challenge on my mind because there's so many good shows over there, and sometimes it really becomes difficult to prefer the book over. And I'm being very, very honest. Sometimes a show is so good. I mean, I was watching Queen's Gambit, and that was so good. And I had bought The Republic by Plato, and I really wanted to read because I have never read a philosophy book. I really wanted to read it because it's a tip my brother gave to me, and I want to share with all the aspiring writers and all. My brother said that you should read more philosophers and more books on philosophy because they would add depth to your writing. So I wanted to share the wisdom of my brother. I mean, he's also an avid reader, and also wanted to share that wisdom with you all. Yeah, so that is why I picked up The Republic by Plato. But then there was Queen's Gambit on Netflix, and it took my attention. I finished it, but that kind of pressure. Okay, why am I giving in? I know at the end of the day, I enjoy the company of a good book over Netflix, but sometimes it's your heart moves over your head, and I don't know what happens. It takes over your attention. So that is one struggle that I feel. That is one thing that challenges me constantly. But the books win, yeah.
Your favorite memory as a reader?
Reading Agatha Christie books. I mean, when I was a kid, like kids, like some kids would say, I want to become Sachin Tendulkar when I grow up. People like me, and I think there are many like me, who would say, oh, I want to be Agatha Christie when I grow up. I mean, I used to love the murder mystery she used to write, Mother on the Nile, Murder She Wrote, ABC Not, etc. I mean, um, her books were amazing. I think it was Death on the Nile, not Murder on the Nile. So yeah, I mean, the way she would keep you hooked till the end, and at the end, the mystery killer would be revealed. So I mean, those were my favorite. That was when I fell in love with the books. So I can never forget feeling in awe of Agatha Christie.
And the last question: if Squeezing Lemon had to be adapted, what is your wish list? Who would play Ajoy?
Who would play Ajoy? Well, that's a great question. I mean, I really like Rajkumar Rao in the current League of Actors. So I think he would make a great Ajoy. I mean, we have so many good actors. Of course, my favorite actor was Irfan, but he's not anymore with us. But yeah, I really like Rajkumar Rao. I think he would do justice to the role of Ajoy.
And Piyu?
Piyu. I love Deepika Padukone. I really love her acting. She emotes through her eyes, And I mean, it is said for the people who are deaf, it is said that, their eyes are their ears, and their, their hands are their mouth. So really, I think Deepika Padukone emotes with her eyes when she has to, do all that sign language, body language, everything. I think she would be a perfect fit.
And Robbie?
Robbie has to be a chilled out guy. So who is a chilled out guy? Help me, Shweta. Who's a chilled out actor?
Your wish list, you decide.
Okay, wow. Well, what if my wish came true? I hope it's that time of the day. But a chilled out actor, somebody who's really chilled out, I don't know. Hrithik Roshan, wow. Actually, when I was describing Robbie in some of the scenes, I was actually, now that you say, I was envisaging Hrithik Roshan because I've also talked about some of the clothes that he would wear and all. So, yeah, I mean, Hrithik Roshan would look divine in that role. So, yes.
And last, Kim.
Kim. Kim Alia Bhatt. Because I mean, she has been through that journey, kind of journey that Kim went through. And I'm not going to give any spoilers, but you know what I mean, right? So she has been through that kind of journey, that the struggles that and her internal demons that she would fit perfect, very lively, vivacious, and so is Alia, and her entire journey, the kind of turmoil she's had with her parents, everything. So I think she would do great justice to Kim's role. Yeah.
And lastly, Chitter Chatter with Shweta Rohira.
Chitter Chatter with Shweta Rohira. I didn't get the question, so who would?
Lastly, what do you have to say about Chitter Chatter?
Oh, sorry. So the connection's patchy, Well, I mean, this has been so much fun. It feels like I'm talking to a long lost friend. Yeah, and hopefully this friendship will continue. I have a thing for Mumbai girls, you know that. So I love them. So, I mean, it's always great feeling to connect with your readers. You have read the book and you had such kind, such, straight from the heart words, for the book. So it was amazing to hear what you actually felt like. Um, what an experience, lovely experience. This is the first time I'm doing an Instagram live. I was an Instagram live virgin before that, before this. But I mean, what a revelation, what an experience. I am so thrilled, so happy. Uh, had a great time chatting to you. And Shweta, I mean, I really wanted to, because we chatted earlier and we talked about sign language. I thought we would, if you're okay with that, can we do a quick 2-3 signs, for our viewers, for you, for me?
Yeah. Do it.
So, as I've also been going through the video, this is thank you. So whenever we do this, whenever people do this, this is thank you. Now, when a deaf person, when a mute person does this to say thank you, how do you say welcome? So this, hand straight, right angle on your chest, and this is thank you. This is you're welcome. Sorry, this is thank you, and you say you're welcome. You can also say great, you're welcome. Yeah. And this is sorry, fist on the chest and in circular motion. This is sorry. Yeah. And last one, this is please. This is my hand is straight. This is please. Please.
So yes. This is sorry.
And this is please. This is thank you. Welcome. And whenever this is welcome, yeah. So sorry. Some people also,
and this is
yes. And some people, they say you are welcome, but that's like you're welcome to their home, right? You're welcome to my place. But when you say like this, welcome, it's like, when someone says thank you, you reply, you're welcome. Yeah. So next time, thank you.
It was a pleasure to have you here.
Yes, I mean, we had fun. I hope you had fun too.
I had a great time, and thank you once again for writing such a positive story in such a nice way that I really, really had a gush of positivity after I kept this book down, and a lot of it is lingering with me. A lot of episodes of the book are lingering with me, which I will disclose to my viewers down the line, that what is going on in my mind. You know it all. And thank you once again for being a part. Thank you once again for being a part of this Chitter Chatter, and looking forward for many, many, many more books. And wish you a great weekend. And guys, if you have missed any part of our Chitter Chatter, it's going to be on IGTV. So tag your friends, Go after our Chitter Chatter, buy your copies, and do tell us how you like squeezing lemons.
Yes. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Shweta. It was lovely talking to you. Cheers. Bye.
Bye.